whatever you want. I do not care. Cool. I'm trying to make sure this is going before I do anything.
Should I say something?
No, I think we're green. We're good.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, I'm sitting here. Hello, stream. My name is Ido. I go by Ethan. This is. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rocket. My name is Mauricio. Yeah.
Cool. So you play Melee primarily, right, as your main game. When did you start playing the game?
Yeah. Okay. So, well, I started with Smash when I was a child, like probably 8 years old. I got the N64 console with the Smash Bros. Game, and then I used to play with my brothers and stuff. And at some point, well, I keep getting the newer consoles, like the GameCube one, the Wii game. I used to enjoy a lot of Melee when I was a child. I used to play Chic. I loved playing home run contest.
Okay,
Yeah, that was super. That's
You're
a fire
home run
mode.
grinder? Okay.
Yeah. I love home run contest, and then I got I got Brawl.
Yeah.
And Brawl was also super cool. I love the adventure mode. I was this game is so good.
Necessary.
I used to play a lot of home run contests there too.
Okay.
I was not that good. I was just watch videos and try to replicate what they do and try to add something else. So yeah, I used to enjoy that.
Okay.
And then I got to college, like time skip. I went to college in 2016 and used to play Brawl mostly about that time.
Okay. You didn't switch to Smash 4?
No, because I didn't have a Wii U and I didn't I don't know. I didn't get engaged with that. I got the Wii. It had good games. So yeah. And then I started college. And in college they had this Smash Club, pretty much what you guys have here with NAU. So yeah. Then they introduced me to they had both Smash 4 and then Melee. And I was like, oh, I used to play this game when I was a child. And then I was like, oh, so you can wave that, so you can L cancel, you can press buttons and do cool stuff. So yeah, I love that.
Okay.
Yeah. And from there I just keep playing mostly in the club, in this Smash club. I got Reich in there. That's a super good player too, and he's also been traveling as I do and go to majors and stuff. I don't know. We had a lot of good people that came from there. They were maybe 10, 12 or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And today they are more focused on Ultimate, which is
no.
fair.
Yeah.
It is fair, but I enjoy Melee the most. It's just a fun game.
See, makes sense.
Yeah.
So for people who don't know you specifically, as a person, who you play in the game, what kind of controller you use, fill people in with that kind of information, if that makes sense. Also try to talk right in there.
Here. Okay. All right. So yeah, well, my tag is Rocket. I play in this game. Well, as in every fighting game, you can classify your characters from good to bad, right? You have the whole spectrum. You have top tiers, you have mid tiers, you have low tiers and stuff. My character is considered to be in the mid-low tier range, which is Young Link. It's from The Legend of Zelda. I used to play that game a lot too, so that was one of the reasons I started playing Sheik, and then when I wanted to play another character, I chose Young Link because it's I don't know, it feels good, it's pretty fast, you have projectiles, it's pretty fun to play. Yeah, so I played the character. I've been doing pretty well. I was ranked top 100 in the world last year, so that's a huge achievement. I think it's the first time Young Link main has been ever in the top 100, so that's huge. That is huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, Young Link is not the best character, but he can definitely do some good stuff. And mostly what he lacks is killing power. He's super fast, he can be pretty sneaky, he had good defense, but when it comes to try to hit a good hit, it might get kind of tricky. So yeah, it takes a lot of I don't know, you have to set up your stuff, you need to know your combos, and if not, you probably won't hit what you need to hit. So yeah, that's mostly what the character is about. And you have to fight other characters are super fast, or super offensive, or yeah, like Fox or Falcon, and then Young Link does pretty well versus the characters that are more low pace, like Peach and Puff. So you can like try to maneuver around that, and Marth. So yeah, yeah.
So, talking specifically about switching to box, specifically, like when did that happen? What kind of changes? Like maybe, what are kind of your controversial ideas about the box? Like, because some people call it cheating, some people don't call it cheating. Do you think that people should switch to 1.03 because of like the perfect wave dash angles to make it more competitively viable? Same with the box with like perfect. I think it was like 1.0 cardinal directions.
Yeah.
Do you know about that? Yeah.
I know about
Yeah, perfect. So just like thoughts in general about that and like when you switch to box and then those kind of ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the first thing is that I switched to box in 2020. I was waiting for my frame one to came in, and it took forever. I was like, okay, am I gonna just wait for like 2-3 months more, or I can try to do something? And I know something of computer engineer, so maybe I could do something about it and try to make one my own. And then I researched. I came to the Crane Discord. He has a lot of information. Yep. So yeah, he had this like DIY tutorial on how to make a box with Arduino. So I built one. I bought the Sangwa buttons, all the stuff. Yeah, that was my first time playing on the box. And I changed from the GameCube controller because I had hand issues. Like at some point, I couldn't close my fist. Like they got stuck. So I was like, oh, this is not okay. I should stop playing Melee if this is gonna happen. Like.
And you were
this
playing
much.
Young Link at that time.
Yeah. I was playing Young Link. So I was like, okay, this is not good. I don't want my hands to be like screwed. So yeah, I tried to figure out any other ways to play the game, and I remember that Hacks designed the box because he had problems with his hands too, so that was the way to go. And then yeah, I first moved to keyboard to try to check how it feels, like the layout on the keyboard. There are like mods for that, so you can play Melee with the keyboard, like with the same layout as on the box. And then I started making myself one, and at some points I received the frame one. I was like, to be honest, this is better. The best is better than the one I did, so I just swap. And yeah, so the box has a lot of controversial stuff, as you said. Like some people call it cheating because it's so consistent. Like it has two benefits. One of them is your hands are better. You don't have hand issues because your hands are not like compressed, and like you don't have to do as much like force as usually. But also since it changes the layout, you have like easier access to tools that you didn't have. So yeah, so in that matter, in particular with the C-Stick, Arial C-Stick, I think that's definitely better on the box. You can do like like instant aerials, super easy with whatever drift you want. So I think that's super beneficial, and I think it benefits a lot Young Link compared to the GameCube controller version of Young Link, to call it something like that. So the C-Sticks, then the 1.0 cardinals, as you said. I remember watching this video of Hacks discussing about the 1.0 cardinal. The thing is that some GameCube controllers can reach like the longest like cardinal because they are made like that.
Yeah.
So that will benefit the box users more. But then I remember it was like 2% speed difference.
Yeah.
So it's super, super low. And also I remember because the travel time when you use the box is instant dashing. Like, you don't have the in between like coordinates. So Hacks made a video about that. Actually, have intermediate coordinates is better because when you start walking, you don't lose momentum or something like that. I don't remember, but the thing was
there's
like
some drawback for it.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same. That's what I remember. And then I think the box is, that's mostly it. I mean, maybe the jump console grab might be easier, just like this little motion. shield drop might be easier too. Yeah, in general, I think box has a lot of more benefits than the GameCube controller, and it's hard for me. I don't know if there is a way to like, okay, your hands are bad, we should nerf this. I think it might be okay, nerf it, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on that. I mean,
how long did it take you to get used to the box switching from the GameCube?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So when I started like grinding the box, I started playing on keyboard as I mentioned earlier. I play on keyboard like 2 months. Then I build my own box and I play like 2 months more. And then I felt like, oh, this is the exact level I had before switching.
So about 4 months.
About 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like the time I got. Yeah. And then at 6 months, I was like, oh, this level is better than what I had with the GameCube controller. So yeah, it took 6 months to like improve. Yeah, and I used to move a lot in platforms. Like every day, I try to move a bit. So, I mean, not 4-hour sessions, but 20 minutes, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So I would say specifically for lumbersmash 3, and obviously being PR'd, who would you say is your biggest competition in this tournament, and kind of which matchups do you really not like playing against? Like, what's kind of your least favorite matchup to play, and why?
So, speaking of flagstaff community, I will say that right now, well, we had the flagstaff community today, but we also have the Phoenix, a lot of Phoenix people coming too. So today, I pretty much concerned about CPU Zero.
Okay.
He's super good. He's the best one right now in Arizona. He's PR. There's also more people that's pretty good, but he's the most active player that gets good results. Yeah, so CPU Zero. Then I don't know, because yeah, there's Cops that's coming, but I think I can be over Cops. Napkin's gonna be a tough one. Gotherol. Oh, Gotherol is not into melee. Damn. Yeah. Who else is coming? Yeah, I know Husky. Husky's good. He's still not in the level yet to beat me, but he can be at some point for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's like the promise of Flagstaff. Like at some point he will get like super good.
Poster boy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it's mostly CPU Zero, and I think I can beat anyone else. It might be tough, but I think I can beat anyone else. And then for CPU Zero is like the hardest one. Also, I'm trying to not be like oh, I'm gonna get first and stuff, because I don't wanna like put expectations on myself, because if I fail, it's gonna be like a crush. I'm aiming to the second place, and then if I get more, that's like okay, cool, nice. Yeah, I don't want to like put too much pressure on myself today. Also, I think they need me for Project Plus. Okay.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for the interview. Interrogated now.
Well, this is
Perfect.
this is interrogation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, now I have to sit someplace.
What?
I have to sit someplace.
Oh, you guys.
Yeah. All good. All good.
We're learning.
Yep. Cool.
Learning the matchup.
Perfect. Okay. So first off, introduce yourself. By the way, just as the front of the mic, so talking to that area.
Ah, I got you. So it's like
introduce who you
projection.
are, who you play,
This
why
part.
you're here.
So I am CPU Zero, or Patrick Cabon's my real name. I kind of like being called anything. People call me Pat. They can call me just CPU because it cuts out like 2 syllables. It's a mouthful of a tag. But I play Jigglypuff in Melee. I've been playing since like late 2016 is when I got in like high school. I just started playing because I thought the game was fun, but now I'm kind of here. I'm actually ranked number 2. I was about to say I was ranked number 1 in AZ, but we just had a new PR come out. Sparks now number 1. That's a weight off my shoulder. I don't have to worry about like being number 1 anymore. But I've still improved like quite a lot. I think even just like this past month, I've improved a lot of like my game sense and like my decision making. Like a lot of silly things. Like I honestly think I don't look at people 100% of the time, like my opponent. That's like the obvious thing. It's like when you fight someone, you always want to be able to react and be ready for them. But it's like my eyes would just constantly jolt between myself. It's like, no, you don't need to look at yourself. You know how to like control that. But yeah, it's like my main gist of like playing Melee. Pretty cool game. I sometimes dabble in other Smash games, but Melee's basically been the one I've zeroed in on, like just made sure that I made mostly my focus, especially after quarantine with like Slippy and stuff, made it super good.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
So, talking about like, I actually didn't know about the PR you being ranked 2, but you sounded more surprised, like happy about that specifically, like because
it's kind of like in a joking way, but for the longest time, so obviously Axe is like. He's like the main like AZ person known to like be the best. And the way our PR works is you have to be active in state. So he doesn't really enter any of the in-state ones. He entered, I think, like 2 this season. There was like a weekly he entered, and then there was the Arizona Melee Championship, which I actually ended up winning, by the way. But that was in Tucson, and it was like 24 invitational. He unfortunately didn't feel well going past that point, so he had like DQ, but I got the win when I could. It's like it probably was a thing that helped me get really high. But man, just joking about like me being second instead of first. The last PR did not have Spark, so I kind of just got first by default. Okay. And so that's kind of how it's always been. Same thing with Meds. Meds is like our second best player usually. I think he was actually above Axe for one of the PRs. And because like he had a better head-to-head against him, he was like basically they fought like 3 or 4 times and he beat him most of the times. But I think he made it this season, but he's switching currently to Box. And Box is like it's basically like a digital controller. This one like uses a stick, but that one just uses pure buttons. It's a lot better at like certain things while also being weaker at other things. I still like using a stick because Jigglypuff, being the air character she is, there's like certain things you can get from it. But yeah, so he's moving to that, but I guess this is technically the first time over him, but only by like a certain obligation. And then third is Big Time Rush, who's like a really good player, really good Fox. He doesn't enter too many events like commonly, but he was really active last season. He went to the Arizona Melee Championship, beat Meds, and then also beat like he beat Eddie Mexico after I beat him in winners. He's a super good Luigi player. I say super good. He's the best Luigi player in Melee, so you kind of know him if you like Luigi at all. But yeah. That was kind of the main reason I was just really excited. It was like I'm high, but like I'm not super duper high where it's like, oh, if I lose to someone, you know, they beat the best Arizona player. Now it's like, oh, I'm only the second best now. So now Spark has that burden on him instead. It's like the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, who do you think is probably your biggest like obstacle coming into this tournament? Because I already talked to Rocket before, had an interview with him. He was saying that you were probably his number 1. But just thinking about the matchup of Youngling versus Puff, and kind of like, are you thinking about timing him out? Is he thinking about timing you out? Like, kind of explain your play style and how you think about going into him, if he is your greatest threat, if you think.
I'd say absolutely he is my greatest threat. I think we're like the 2 players are like the closest to each other. I mean, he's ranked number 100. I'm currently not yet, but I'd say I'm pretty close. But we've played before a lot, but the funny thing is we haven't played in a while. I think like friendlies earlier this month was the last time we played, and those are even just friendlies. Before that period of time, I think it was like September. It was like late last year because he sometimes comes to Arizona, sometimes goes back to Chile. Yeah. And obviously now he's back in Arizona too. For quite a while too, I think he's been there.
He's going back in like a couple weeks, and then he's going to be gone for
yeah, probably he'll be here for Smash Camp and then go, because Smash Camp's going to be the big one. But yeah, he's my biggest hurdle. In terms of fighting Youngling, I actually did study the matchup a little bit. I found mostly a lot of my improvements actually just come from general habits, kind of like the improvements I was telling you about. Those improvements I think will come a lot more important than just like Youngling specific tech, but there is a lot of Youngling specific tech I can do. Some things like my light shield, where I decide to interact with him in the air. Sometimes it's good for him to be in the air and then I stay on the ground and I wait for him to land, because I think a lot of his aerials don't have like too much reach, and when he pulls them out like his Nair and his Bear, they kind of linger more as opposed to like a character like Marth, so you can wait out the aerials and then just punish them on the ground. When you're in the air, I like to think there's a concept of like an air timer, not to be confused with the rules say air timer, but like you have a timer on yourself of like when you can land, and it's like, oh, I will be rising, then I fall, and there's like I can jump to extend that timer, but I'll still have to fall at some point. Where on the ground, there's no such time. You're kind of just free to just attack whenever you can. So it's kind of nice being in control. Some points obviously want to be in the air because Puff is the air character. She's most mobile. She jumps a lot. She has very good vertical, very good horizontal play. And so there's points for that, but there's also points where he jumps in there and I'm just like, oh, now I can fight you on the ground and be more flexible. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of advancements with that. The funny thing about the timeouts too is like that's the most common on a stage like Dreamland. And I actually think that might be his best stage because a thing that Younglink loves to do is he has really good speed against Jigglypuff to like run around and stuff. So I actually want to play a game of cat and mouse where I'm the cat and he's the mouse trying to like stay away, kind of position himself in spots that are hard for me to get really big openings, like not even rest, but also just like a juicy, like fair, bear, you know, the hungry box. Like, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to like at least stay close enough to where if he tries to pull a bomb, I can just hit him. So it's like it's a committal action to like pull out that stuff. It is like a thing for Peach too, other characters, but especially for Link, because Young Link and Link, because they can also pull them out in the air, and that's like their main kill move. Like if they hit me with bomb, that's how they get like the up air, the down air, and that kills. So at all costs, like I don't even want the bomb to be in play. If he does get the bomb in the play, then he can only throw it in cardinal direction, so I want to stay in like these more diagonal wedge areas. So as you can tell, I've kind of studied this a lot. It kind of makes sense. You just have to put yourself in the shoes of the opponent and realize, okay, there's only so many ways he can throw this, like so many angles, even like the speeds. So, and honestly, bombs are our best one. He also has arrows and boomerang, but the boomerang's like kind of weak. Like you can just arrow through it, and the arrows too. Like he doesn't use it super often, but who knows? You might just see it. He'll pull out like sometimes because they all cover like different angles, which is kind of cool. And like the boomerang definitely has like the factor of like it returns back to you, but you can also kind of stuff him out early. And when you stuff him out early, his boomerang disappears outright, so you don't even have to worry about it then. So yeah, we'll have to see how that goes, but it should be pretty rushdown heavy. We'll have to see how he is able to like get away from me and then how I can maybe prevent that, or again, at least make it so he has to think twice about like pulling his projectiles, because that's what he wants. He wants distance. Yep.
So, is it like, are you basically just thinking you're just going to tear through the entire rest of the bracket, no problems at all? Like, would you say that like every Fox is just going to get wiped? Like who else would you say would maybe be like, maybe even take a game off you, or like what characters do you really don't want to face?
I would say that's the plan. The plan is definitely just wipe through everyone. I think this last season, my only losses were Blue's Clues, Spark. Blue's Clues did a really good job beating me that one time because it was with Peach too is the thing. Then it was like Spark. Big Time Rush was like my demon. He was like super good with Fox, even good with Falcon too. But besides that, it really is just player dependent. It's not really matchup dependent. Soul Train has gone really close. Like he's taken games before. And I think like the Peach Puff matchup is really funny. That matchup's really bad for Peach. So again, it's like more player specific. Cubs also used to be, he's like the other Puff player that's super active for me. He also used to be a problem for me. Recently, I haven't had too hard of trouble, but relative to everyone else, he can take a game. Like he can take games if he wants to. AK-47, and he's also like taken a game too, somewhat recently. So it mainly is just those players. Like who's the best players besides those besides like the ones from like Rocket. I'd say Rocket's like the closest to me. Napkins too. I think Napkins is like taking a game, and he's also another Peach. So those are easily like the players I'm the most worried about, but like worried in that, oh, I might like lose a game or two, but it shouldn't get to that point. Like I should be focused on this. And I think a good thing too is like not being worried helps you with your confidence, because like if you're worried about losing, it actually changes how you play. And like you need to have confidence to be like, oh, I need to use my win conditions. I need to like not play too safe, because this is the whole balance of Jigglypuff. I guess kind of a lot of characters, like if I just use her bear to zone, like the bear's like the big iconic move where it's like really long leg, she swings in, there's like all this range that really shouldn't, like past her leg it can hit you. It's like really ridiculous. That move is really good for certain things, but if I get too over reliant on it, I lose a lot of my power over time. So I want to make sure I'm using my other aerials that lead to a lot more. You know, my drill that like leads to like grab on the ground. I use my up air that can lead to rest, or even just like on some of the like the spacies, Fox, Falco, even Falcon, who's a fast faller. If I up air them, I can get like several up airs and that can lead to a kill. Sometimes I just edge guard too. Like grab can just kill people. It's really nice. And so I think like a lot of the matchups I'm like pretty solid with. It's mainly just Rocket, and Rocket I guess also doubles as a matchup because I don't play Young Link super often. I guess when I do, I actually play him, so that works. But Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about my bracket. I haven't worried like too much. If anything, I'm kind of excited for the long term, just because I get to play him, and it's been a while. Like, it's like I should play this dude more. He's really good. He's a really good resource for Young Link. There's basically like no other better Young Link in the world, I guess, for X. But X is like, even he plays like a Young Link that I think is like, he not like carries, but like he's really good just off his own player instinct. Rocket more plays the character more. He plays the matchup really well too. Again, like he'll use the disadvantage of your characters, Jigglypuff, Peach, other slower characters. He acknowledges the fact that, oh, I am faster than you and I want this distance, and I will only close that distance when I feel like it's the right choice. So I think he's just like, he tactically plays a gangster character. Meanwhile, Axe is just like, he has you solved. Like he plays the player to player matchup a lot more, if that makes sense. Yeah. But so yeah, matchup wise, feeling pretty good, but I'll definitely have to look out for Rocket as like my main thing.
So I'd say, who do you think, not who do you think, sorry. One, this is kind of the final two questions. Do you have a pocket secondary that no one knows about? And second, what is your favorite map? And you better not say Dreamland.
Okay, so I'll actually answer the second one first. I'm somewhat of a big contrarian with stage picks, because Dreamland is like the best stage considered for most of Puff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think it is for some matchups, but like I said with Young Link, I actually think Young Link does better. Mm-hmm. And then this is even bigger of a take is, I think versus Fox and versus Sheik, those are those characters' best stages against Puff. I think for Sheik, it's straight up her best stage. And I kind of group these characters together because I like to think of them as movement-based characters. Yonki is actually a movement-based character too, but these characters are faster than Jigglypuff, so I think they benefit a lot more from the fact that the stage is bigger, not just horizontally, but also vertically. You have the platforms that are higher. Like the top platform's higher, but also the side platform's higher, and they're like spaced around. If they want to, they can like move around Jigglypuff. You could call it camping, but I think it's a little disingenuous because I think it's more like using your character's strengths, and you do want to go in eventually. If you're only camping, you're kind of not using your full character strengths. You're mainly just staying away at certain points where Jigglypuff can't get a big opening. You know, like in Sheik's case, the matchup is very heavily dependent on if she gets rested or not. Fox, kind of the case, but like I think Fox, you can at least like get early gimps and stuff. But Sheik is like a big deal. It's like she can almost out neutral Puff. She has like really good aerials. She has really good like a normal fall speed and a fast fall speed that are very different. She can mix up all these things. And having a big stage like Dreamland enables you to like use more of the stage versus using like Yoshi's Story and Fountain, which are not as like conventionally better stages. I think it forces Sheik to interact a lot more with Puff. And when you're interacting, she's a lot more worried about up air, she's a lot more worried about up tilt, grab. That's another big thing. The platforms on those stages straight up, she can down throw, and then that leads to like a reaction where I can just rest her straight up. But even just on Fox too, like I think just being able to play closer to him, and he has to like worry about like when he's jumping around, he doesn't have like kind of a place to chill around. I think like on Dreamline, for example, if he's in the corner, he can kind of jump to the side platform, and then from that point, he can like threaten like, oh, am I gonna go off this platform? Am I gonna go to top platform? Like, can I go back down the ledge? I think like when he's on Yoshi's, it's like a lot scarier because like Puff is just relatively a lot closer to him with how lower the platforms are. So yeah, I'd say overall, to answer your question though, Fountain is like overall I think her better stage. I think it's the best stage versus Sheik and Fox. Probably Falcon as well, because Falcon's like another case where I think he's movement heavy. I think Dreamline's like middle of the road in that matchup, kind of same with Yoshi's. It balances out for both characters. But Fountain's like the best of both worlds. It's small, but also like Blast Ones are still somewhat good. I think he struggles with platforms too. Mars, I think, is a character where Dreamline actually helps you though, because you want to live really long, and I don't think he really benefits too much from movement. He doesn't go as high like as quickly, so he doesn't like have the ability of like she could like jumping around. Same thing with Fox. I think Falco too is like another case. So overall, probably Fountain's my best stage. I also like fighting on Yoshi's too because it's really aggressive. It's really fun. I'm like a scrap-oriented Jigglypuff. I kind of touched upon how I'm like good at resting, and a part of that is like putting out your moves, putting out your up airs, your up tilts, your grabs. So I benefit a lot from that. Going to your first question though about my secret secondaries, the funny thing is I'm actually really good at not playing other characters. That used to be a thing that was not the case, by the way. Okay. When I played Smash 4 before I was even competitive, I had a huge trouble just like playing every character, which wasn't a problem back then because I was just playing the game for fun. But like I played like 10 characters, I'd cycle between all of them, and eventually like one of those characters, Jigglypuff, actually got me into Melee because she was so bad in Smash 4. Then it made me realize how much faster she was in Melee. So now that I played Melee, I tried to like play other characters, but she just feels so much stronger than all of them. But going to this point, I do play Marth and Fox kinda, and I mainly like them also because they're strong. Like they feel like it's like Marth's like really zone heavy. He's not as good at scrapping, like up close. Obviously, you don't want to fight as well with Marth. You can get better at it, but it's just not as much of his strength. And Fox is like the opposite. Like he's good at walling, but you want to play him up close. So I kind of like playing those characters for different reasons. But Jigglypuff to me feels like the most comfortable. You know, once you lose neutral, like she's much safer in disadvantage. It kind of reminds me of like some ultimate characters like, you know, Steve and whatnot, where you kind of are a lot safer in like that whole recovery disadvantage zone. My character that's the most unique though is Dr. Mario, because Dr. Mario is like probably a lot worse than those characters. Like obviously he's like a mid-tier, he's not like top 3 in the game like those other characters, but he feels really balanced. He's a very fundamentals based character. I love his like mix of air and ground play. His wave dash is very long too, so sometimes I just pull out Dr. Mario, and honestly he feels better than Marth just because it's like sometimes up close I feel like I can pull out some tilts, I can pull out some combos, and it's like I don't feel like I could do this with with Marth. Even some of his like kill moves are like better. Like he has a frame 5 like down smash that it just kills the person. It's really nice. His grab leads into kills a lot more easily too. Just forward air. It's really easy. Yeah. So don't play too many secondaries, but those are like the ones I do play. It's kind of funny because like even Dr. Mario feels like he should be a secret character, but we have like the whole Wired Weekly Wednesdays, which we used to do for quarantine. And the whole mascot of that was what would become my doc. So it's kind of funny. Like I just did Dr. Mario because, you know, that was the thing like pandemic. Like you wanted to like be clean, be hygienic, and so I used like Dr. Mario as like the mascot. Yeah. And then I pulled out like Dr. Mario just to like try it out, and then he became a character I liked, which again is really weird because I don't play many other characters. I'm just happy playing Jigglypuff, which is a good thing, but it also means I can sometimes have trouble like understanding the shoes of other characters. Like I talk about Young Link. Some of Young Link's weaknesses you don't get until you play as him, and you're like, oh, these aerials actually aren't as strong as they feel like they are. The like pulling out these bombs and like these boomerangs, they feel a lot more committal than they actually are. So sometimes you just have to play other characters to understand it. And Jigglypuff, very unconventional character normally, so it's kind of hard to get that. But I do enjoy playing like some other characters from time to time, and probably I should do it just to understand them more.
I'm assuming you're probably not gonna pull.
Yeah, if that was like the main question, yeah, I'm not pulling out. Yeah, I'm actually trying to think. Well, technically there was a GCU tournament. That's a good point. But there was only like 3 people, and so I pulled out the www.com, as I like to call them. That's the name of my doc's like Smurf name, my alias. But besides that, I can't think of a paid bracket I've done. I think like maybe like amateur bracket grand finals back in 2018 or 19. I would pull out my like Fox when I was in like grand finals winner's side. So like even if I lost the set, I would be fine. But yeah, I usually don't pull them out, which is kind of nice. I just focus on Jigglypuff. But I think Jigglypuff usually too, you don't need a secondary. I think like some Puffs at most will have a Fox for the Ditto, but I even like using Puff for the Ditto because I think the Ditto is, this might be a hot topic because like Puff Dittos are known for being really lame. I think they're super honest and like they teach you more about the character than other matchup because the punish game is very minimal. Like basically you have F smash and you have to like super hard call out the person and like get that read. Outside of that though, it's like you just have to beat the guy very consistently. You have to hit, like be positioned. It's not even just bair. There's also up bair. There's some ground play. So it's like other Puffs don't want to play that matchup because it's like, oh, like I can't just grab the person when or other stuff. But like me, I used to be like that. But now that I understand the game better, I realize the necessity of that matchup and just like, oh, I need to learn this matchup in order to do it. And with Cubs, Cubs is at this event. And he's like one of the people I mentioned I struggle, that like he has like the highest chance of taking games off me. Like we have played every week at least like once or twice. So like we've like super honed down the matchup. He's even being Khalid, which is like, I think is like a top 90 in the world Puff. So he's on the top 100. So he's improved at the Ditto too. So it's kind of funny playing that matchup, but luckily won't have to swap too much. I'm pretty well-rounded versus everyone. I think every character luckily has like strengths and weaknesses and you can exploit them in some ways. Same thing with my character, but I think she's pretty well on him. Pretty fair. Cool. Or bear.
I think that's everything. So
yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining.
Luckily I'm a talker, so I can work with it.
Hey, it works. Works out.
Awesome.
I like it when my friends suffer.
Do you?
Yes, they're gonna interview each other.
All right. Why do you like people suffering? You're an awful person.
Introduce yourself first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why are we here?
Why are we here?
Yo, I'm dumb.
I didn't think you gotta speak into here.
I did.
Not over this.
Why am I doing an interview? I have no qualifications whatsoever.
No, so there's an app you can download.
In other news, bananas.
Yeah, I like bananas. I think they're pretty good. Apes eat bananas, you know. I got an ape next.
Nice.
Why do you play pot?
Because funny grab.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Grab's not funny anymore when I have to fight flies all the time.
True. Now you actually have to try.
The worst part is I can't practice online right now.
Yeah, because online's a shit.
Online is shit. Even if I go online, all I fight are Milias and Fausts for some reason.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need this matchup. No one plays Milia. Except for these people who show up. Markiplier E.
Yeah, I remember how he had his own. I think Chris like subscribed to it or something.
Chris got instant access from Reddit.
Is that it?
I don't know
guess.
where we're going.
Need me to interview you
This has
guys?
been a funny interview.
I'll ask the questions. You hold that. I'll ask.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Probably better.
It's gonna be like a freaking. What's the name of that one YouTube channel that like had the kids come on? And, like,
React.
yeah. Okay, so
Careful not to get sued.
one, why did you come to Lumbersmash? How did you know about it? And what do you play?
I mean, I showed up because I wanted to play Potemkin and do the funny grab. So obviously I play Strive.
Okay.
And I know Jake, who is helping to run this, so I gotta rep the homies.
So I entered Wheel. I just saw Among Us was in it. And rounds. I'm like, oh shit, I can probably farm. And I entered because yeah, homies are here. I just want to hang out half the time.
I guess since you guys are playing different brackets, if you've looked at them, who do you think is your biggest competition? I already lost. You are?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I got run over by 2 chimps in a row.
No way. Oh. Are you just planning on hanging out until it's over?
I'm part of the wheel.
Okay, so you're just waiting for the wheel now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think my biggest opponent's gonna be Stephcom.
My opponent's gonna be the wheel. I don't know
Yeah.
any of the games on it.
I mean, I could get windjammers all games and just get screwed over like that.
Jammers is just press buttons and throw them.
Yeah, but last time I played it, I was ass. Yeah. It's just air hockey. Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to say to the world? It's weird because since you're already out, I can't keep asking questions.
Right.
I ran out of questions.
Yeah.
Like,
You
normally
chose
the
the
questions
wrong
I'm asking
people.
other people, like, they're still in the bracket. Right? So they're still like, well, I lost to this person, but I'm hoping to make an incredible losers run, tear through it. You're like, no,
Comes back. Yeah.
none of that.
That ain't happening, she.
Yeah. Have you? So you have no experience with any of the wheel games at all? Have you seen any of the wheel games?
I've played Among Us Arena once when we had it in bracket last time.
Okay. So you got one game.
Yeah.
Rounds is also on there.
Oh yeah, there's also rounds, but I didn't bring my keyboard and mouse, so we'll see what the fuck happens.
See a controller. You're doing a controller.
round.
I don't know.
Chug more glue.
Okay.
Potem.
I want to say, you can't get the banana if you're too scared to climb the tree.
So prophetic. Amazing. Amazing job. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
No problem.
You have another interview. You win the wheel. Let's just say that. you back here? Go over there.
Oh.
I'm gonna grab my coffee.
You're not gonna monitor?
Are these live interviews?
Yeah, these are live interviews.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Why live interviews? Why live? We can also move over and do freaking puff analysis on the whiteboard if you want.
I'll write my bubble theory on.
Yeah, well, it'd be you, me, and CPU Zero that are all in here like freaking puff gremlins writing things on the whiteboard.
It would just be a CPU Zero lecture. It would.
I already had one. Okay,
Yeah.
I already interviewed him.
Be
Okay. It would be what?
It'd be literally like Puff 101, PUF 101. It's 3 credits.
Yep. Condensed. Okay, so I mean, start out by saying who you are, why you're here, who you play.
Yeah. So my tag is Sable Guy because I came up with it when I was like 12, and my real name is Alec. I play Jigglypuff in Melee and Jigglypuff in Ultimate. And newly I play Donkey Kong in Melee as well. I play Mr. Game & Watch in PM. I'm here because I really like Melee. I started playing Smash competitively-ish. I got into the scene when I was like 12, around when Smash 4 came out. And then my older brother was like, Melee's so cool. And I was like, Melee's cringe. It's so buggy. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
And then he got me to play PM, and then it converted me.
Okay, makes sense. Where do you see yourself in this bracket? Are you gonna make it out of pools? Are you gonna get top 2? Are you gonna take the victory for yourself? Like, are you gonna pull out the DK? Like, what do you think? What's gonna happen? Give me the rundown.
So, I don't know who makes it out of pools. Is it top 2?
I don't know how many pools are going on. Top 16, I think.
It's top 16. So there's 4 pools. So I think it'll be top 4 make it out.
Top 4 for each pool.
Um,
There's 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have no worry that I won't make it out of pools.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm seated 3rd in my pool, and although I'm really sad because I looked at my pool last night and I was like, okay, I got this, easy 2nd in my pool. And then I checked today and they changed it.
Yeah,
now I have
it
to.
actually got seeded.
Yeah, I have to fight Cubs. I have
Yeah.
to fight AK. This sucks.
Oh no.
But yeah, I feel all right about it. I think like I don't think I'm gonna win the tournament. I think my lifetime record against CPU Zero for the past like 5 years has been like 7-0 in his favor. I've never beaten him. I'm so bad at the Puff Ditto. I played Game & Watch against him once, and he up tilt rested me through my shield because I was Game & Watch. It was terrifying. But maybe the DK can do it.
Yeah, he was telling me that the Puff Ditto was like an honorable matchup. Like, he's like, well, we get good at it. We're chilling, we're fine.
It's true. That's the thing I never did. I'm not used to fighting a character with as good as aerial drift.
Probably fourth, 3rd, like right under CPU Zero, right under Rocket kind of thing. You think you're gonna take a game off either of them?
No, because Napkins is in the bracket too, and Napkins I've taken like 1 set off of. If I play well, it's possible, but and also
We played a lot.
We have played a lot, but 10 seems like a lot. I don't think we played 11 sets total.
I think we have.
I have wins on Cubs, but
Yeah.
they're not in the Puff Ditto.
Okay.
It's like
What was the count? What was the pick?
we both would counterpick.
Oh, no.
Because neither of us wanted to play the Puff Ditto.
Yeah.
So my only wins on Cubs was 1 set in like 2017 where we Zelda Dittoed after game 1 and I won 2 games. It was just,
Like, I'll take that.
yeah. And then actually our most recent set, I think,
where we did a Game and Watch Ditto, and I also won, and I ended it with a 9.
Oh yeah, that's where it's at.
It's real. It's real.
That's where it's
But
at.
in the Puff Ditto, I'm hopeless.
Let's say CPU Zero was saying that he played Cubs a lot, and now they both play the Puff Ditto. So
Yeah.
he doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't stay away from it now. So you may have a rough time.
Yeah, the thing is like what happened was like we all were playing at the same time, and then I stopped playing, and they kept playing.
Yeah.
So they're just better than me now.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of a break. You rested your hands. You didn't
Yeah.
get inset arthritis.
Yeah.
They're ruined. They're screwed. You're taking the L or you're taking the W in the end.
I'm a pianist. If I don't play with proper technique, it's not happening for me either.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I should be able to make top 8, and hopefully I can go further.
Okay.
Um,
And you're thinking about pulling the DK out.
if
Who makes you pull the DK? Is it just gonna be Puff Dittos? That's it?
out to me to play Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
then it'll happen.
Okay.
But also, I gotta get better at that character.
Okay, yeah.
He's only 3 weeks old. He's a baby still.
Yeah, well,
You know.
no better chance than to play against a couple top 100s, a couple rank ones in Arizona.
But yeah, I think whatever I do, I'll have fun.
That's all that
and
matters.
that's what matters.
Yeah, no, that's truly that is what matters. Cool. Interview done. I think. I mean, unless you want to keep talking. Who cares? Bam. That's how you interview someone.
me and you.
Introduce yourself.
All right. So this is the front of the mic. We're just gonna start. I'm just gonna ask you questions, and we're gonna have a blast. Okay.
Sounds good.
So my name is Tofu. Your name is.
Mincy G's.
Okay. And we're just gonna do a quick little Smash Bros. Smash Bros. Ultimate interview. I'm gonna ask some quick questions. Just mains, how you feel, and what's going on. So, how are you doing today? What's going on, Minty? How have you been doing in doubles? Because I hear that you've been on a tear.
Well, honestly, I never expect. Oh yeah. I didn't expect to get this far. We got 2 wacky wins. First, whack. Oh yeah, pun intended. My main also being Hero, by the way. Shout out to all the Hero mains. I got a crit, I believe, at 0 and 20 for both teammates, so it's a pretty big highlight for me. Even though we just lost to Dio and Schroeder, I'm still proud of how me and Tuesday have been doing. So honestly, a great performance for me. Also, to answer your other question, I'm doing terrific today, man. Also, always nice to come to Flagstaff, hang with the homies, just have a good time, maybe even eat canes afterwards. But yeah, pretty cool.
Are you not in Flagstaff?
I mean, I am. I'm planning to come back in the fall, depending on how well things go for me. But other than that, I'm just gonna be coming by to any events I can go to. So.
Well, thanks for coming out today. Lumbersmash once a semester. Shout out Lumbersmash. You guys just come up. We haven't had a date for next one, but if you could come, that would be great because you do kind of farm. Do you know who you're playing in singles yet?
Probably Hero. I actually have a secondary secret, but you'll have to find out later. Yeah.
Secrets on the stream is okay. And then there's our main. There's our dates. How are you feeling for the rest of the day? How do you feel about your pool? Do you know what pool you're in?
I'm pretty sure in the pool, I think D1 or C1. If I remember, playing Masan, and then afterwards, I think play against Skylar if I win.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are pools round robin?
I have no idea as far as I can tell.
I'm the guy who's supposed to know that, but that's all good. So, thanks for coming in. Have a good day.
Yeah, of course. Likewise.
Well, that's cute. That was cute.
overtime method on like any matchup. So I was like, if anything, like Dream on the stage, I don't want to pick. Because it says like, what's your favorite stage? And it's like, don't say Dream on if so. And I'm like, actually, I'm like the puff who likes Dream on the least. True. So it's kind of funny. Well, I don't hate Dream on, but again, I just like it the least out of other puffs.
Yeah, let's do it. A breakdown. You want to use the board too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Where is the mic? Here? Here?
It's like near the.
Right there. Okay. Hi. Oh. Yeah, I know.
We standing?
I think we're standing.
Oh.
Yeah. He wants to explain
We're
stuff.
gonna do like some of the.
Yeah. Let's try. I think it's a fine. It's funny.
The
Like.
MS Paint stuff that like Bingo does.
Yeah. All right. Puff is super easy to draw. Like. You only.
I'm just gonna draw sticks.
Yeah. Let me. No, it's not like that. It's like this, I guess.
Oh, you're drawing a big Youngling. Should I draw Puff?
Draw whatever you want, and then just kind of do things, you know? Have your heated argument on why freaking Youngling Fair has priority or something.
Okay.
I have to do a bigger Puff.
Right. So I already draw all I need in this matchup.
The two giants. True.
Yeah.
Actually, I know what to draw.
Oh, true. I know what he's drawing.
I have to draw a bigger one though.
A big, yeah. That's fair. That's kind of the size of it. He has a super long hat.
Yeah. Draw like.
You're crouching. I thought it was a bear.
Oh no.
Like you're doing bear.
Yeah, it's crouching.
Okay.
I think she has like nose like this, and her like other ones go. Or actually, no,
What?
I have to be more flat on the ground. I have to be more like flat around.
You had a good character to draw, and you made it complicated.
And then I like crouching facing away is also like the important.
I've never noticed who are the eyes in that. Oh yeah, it looks kind of puff. Yeah, true. Nice.
There's like a circle you don't want to color. This is
Yeah.
That's how Kirby works too. I don't fully remember how their eyes work.
But I think it's close enough.
And then this is like a mouth like that. Oh, and then you can't forget about the haircut. Actually,
Oh, true.
I have to remove some stuff. I pummel with that. I need that for damage.
Is that a hitbox? Like a true hitbox? You can hit
Yeah,
that.
you know what's a weird
hair?
thing about her hair tuft?
Uh-huh.
When you use it, it gets like messed up. Like like her like hair tuft like actually kind of like it gets like a little like screwed up.
Oh, okay. Right, so let's talk about the matchup.
Color lines.
I think I can start. In general, we have these two characters. One is pretty floaty, has a lot of jumps, dies early, is hard to catch, I guess, and has that crouch animation that's super hard to hit. Yeah.
Even like your own grab, like, because like Youngling is like relatively like he's like a lower character, you know, some like the child characters like Spacey's grab like lower too. You would think his hook shot would be enough, his grab to like get him, and I think it can with like the closest hitbox to him, but the rest of the hitboxes basically like they don't exist if like as long as I'm crouching. And if you miss that grab, then she starts going to sleep. Is like a thing too.
Yeah, just leave and then.
Yeah, there's like 3 things I can draw this. I can like black out her eyes, make it rest, and then if I want to, I can change this one leg, and then it looks like back air.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like a couple things I do in this matchup. I guess it kind of spoil versus you. I don't feel like it'll like change that much, like because like I think like these are just fundamental things. But I think how the air to ground and the ground to ground works, because I think like when you jump, I should be like kind of in this space. I should like be ready to be like, okay, do I want to fight this in there, or do I want to go on the ground and then kind of go around that as like a thing? Because instead, I told you about how Youngling has like all the same attributes. Yeah, I showed you the whole. I showed you like the whole table, but a lot of his ground to air attributes are like the same as Mars. So the way he carries his momentum from the ground to the air, also explained to like the other people. But so like Mars is kind of on like the lower end too. So like the fact that he's the same as that means that when you jump in the air, you kind of forfeit a lot of like your flexibility and your control. You still have like some of it. And, like being in the air is obviously a great thing to like attack and move at the same time. But it is like a lot less than this character. So in some aspects, I want to fight you there. Some aspects, I want to land first, and I'm just kind of like in this crouching spot. I get crouch, I get shield. Like that's also kind of a thing your character struggles with a lot against his shields.
If you decide to go,
Yeah.
if you decide to go to the air and I stay grounded, I can pull out projectiles, which are like a nice tool to
Yes.
like fight that. Like the air, like you ground to air, you call it. I think it's a nice tool to fight that.
Right.
Because I don't have to approach where you have the advantage in the air.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and like that was the thing I was actually going over Crutch too. Is like Crutch has a lot of good attributes, but one of the things is that I'm very stationary, and that gives you the leverage to like move and create space, create distance to pull those things. Make your projectiles, as I said earlier, like a lot less committal. Because when I'm close, pulling that bomb seems a lot more scary now. Because like I can hit you at any point, and honestly, I even said like I'm stationary here, but this could be a wave dashing puff. Yeah.
All right,
So,
okay.
all right, but that's like the perfect overview too, and we don't want to spoil too much from each other.
Okay,
but
okay. We'll see later.
yeah, cuts. Whatever it is. Like our art.
Amazing. I don't know what you guys talking about.
Yeah, Jigglypuff versus Young Link.
Yeah, figures much.
Here you go.
Bam. Also, we're starting pool A. So that's where you are. So we'll call you not here.
November or October this year, you're staying in Gilbert, right?
Probably.
After this. Parker wants to have like a mini like graduation, like after his first job. Don't say shit to Brandon.
Why do we not want Brandon?
Details I can't get into.
Because give me a general gist. Don't get into details.
He is going off the fucking deep end.
Beth got you. All right.
And it's getting to the point where even Max doesn't want anything to do with it.
All right. Cool.
So don't say shit to Brandon. We may end up saying something to Brandon at a later point, confronting him about
Want to do
all
another
this.
4th of July intervention?
I don't even know if we can do an intervention because at this point it's fucked.
Like down bad.
And then told me a little bit of it.
Okay. Well, you can't just freaking say that.
You're not going to say shit to anybody.
Bro, most of
Pinky promises shit. Okay, so Brandon Charlie's voice shit. This isn't recording, is it?
I'll tell you, let's hear your interview. Maurice just said some shit.
He said I nutted so hard I ordered Denny's. No, because I got a headache and I needed like a bunch of like protein and like greasy shit, so I got the burger. That's the rule. Burger Day on DoorDash. Yeah. And that shit was
disgusting, man.
Hash browns, bacon, you gotta go to the fucking offshoot of the gas station.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's the best. Wait, for like Popeyes?
Popeyes!
Yeah, no, you go to the gas station Popeyes for that shit. All right.
Oh my god.
Let's get this interview started. How are you feeling right now, bro? Coming off.
That was the absolute best I've ever done in these kind of brackets, dude.
I was gonna say, what was going through your head? Like, you take one game, you take another, then you take another, and all of a sudden you find yourself in top 8 playing Spiced Fudge for top 4.
Disbelief.
Really?
Yeah.
Just elaborate on that. I mean, hold up.
Well, yeah, because the first game it was what was it? Who was it again?
Schroeder. It was Schroeder.
Yeah, Schroeder. And he 3-1. You know, honestly, it's more just like the technical skill, I'd say, because I've been able to practice a little bit more this past week.
Gotcha.
At least.
I was gonna say I wish I had time to practice, man, but obviously school and shit.
Yeah.
So how do you find all this time to practice and stuff? Do you just like try and weave it through with your work, or?
Absolutely, yeah, just weave it through with the work. But especially since now it's on Xbox, I actually have a better place other than my bad computer.
My God, he's an Xbox player. He's
Yeah.
the reason our netcode sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, final question is just like, what's your biggest takeaway from today?
And I'm better than I thought I was.
Honestly, sometimes that's all you need. All right,
Yeah.
thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Dive kick.
Okay, so, I mean, as you can see, I'm feeling kind of tired, to be honest, being up so early. But we're about to start the wheel, so I'm going to pull this entire setup apart. This was our interview section area where we did some interviews. It was pretty good. Maybe with some winners. But I had to pull it early so that we can run the wheel correctly and have a good time, which would be nice. So I'm going to pull this now. Let's go.